Hi, friend.
Oh my God, I can hear you.
I can hear you too. I tried to use a microphone and be fancy, but it's not going to work. So it's just going to be my computer audio.
Okay, that's fine. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Continuing forever.
I know. It's funny because social media makes time feel really slow, but it's actually gone by a lot. We haven't seen each other in probably 2 years.
Probably something like that. It has been insane.
That's awesome. Well, also my little one, my 2-year-old, is sitting just beyond the view here with a phone in his hand watching YouTube videos. So, if he makes an appearance.
That the last time I saw you were still pregnant.
Oh, well, then that makes sense. That timeline makes total sense.
Oh, that's so sweet. How's your family? How's everything?
Everything's great. We're just living in Tennessee and
You moved.
Yeah, we're not in St. Louis anymore. So that's why I was on Eastern time. So yeah, we live in East Tennessee in a funky little log cabin. And
awesome.
yeah, we like it. I go back and forth to St. Louis. I still have my studio there and I still do some model testing.
Gotcha. It's like pretty close, isn't it?
It's 7 hours actually, but
I mean,
it's not Brazil.
Exactly. It's not Brazil, but that is great. Well, I'm glad that you're all there. That's awesome. More nature.
Yeah. My family's here. My mom and my dad are here, and my husband really wanted to be here too. So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So hey, a couple things. First off, I want to catch up. I just want to give you a heads up. I'm recording this if you don't care.
I don't care. It's fine.
And it's partially just for a blog, so that I can make sure that I am quoting you correctly. But if it, for some reason, just all flows smoothly and, we want to post this whole thing, I may just put the whole thing up. But
good.
I mostly just
like a motto off duty happening here.
I love it.
Going on. But yeah, that's totally fine.
Yeah. So let me just move my little one really quick before we start so that I can, can you hear him? Can you hear the phone that he's on? Not at all?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just let him sit there, though.
Completely quiet.
Oh, okay.
He's good.
We'll just let him watch YouTube like good parents.
Yeah. Sorry, it's all messy in here. I hope that's okay.
You're fine. Yeah, I think the idea is that we're in real life.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ingrid, my friend.
Tell me what you want to know.
Well, first off, so you're in New York now, right?
Yes, I am. I've been living here for almost 2 years now.
Wow.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I love it, actually. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, and we knew each other back in the day, just to kind of give a little background in case, we do end up using some of this for people to get to know you. I met you in St. Louis.
Yes.
And did we do your first modeling photo shoot together?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. Yes, we did my first plus size shoot, and I put that on air quotes because I was a size 8.
I was gonna say you were like a 6 or an 8. The other day I actually tried to go back and because I first started thinking about plus size modeling and the way to talk about it from a photographer's perspective. And I went back and tried to find your pictures, and I was like, she doesn't look like a curve model at all. You were tiny.
Oh, I was a size 8. I was still trying to lose weight back then. I was doing the crazy diets and the crazy pills and all that crazy stuff that we don't do that no more.
No. So were you trying to do you even call it straight size modeling anymore? I'm so from the 90s.
That's the thing. I feel like nowadays things are so far upfront with it that I don't call myself a plus size model anymore. Yeah. I'm a size 12. I'm a model. Right. And period. That's what we've been doing lately.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was back then a size 8, maybe 6, even if I'm and I was considered plus size. I was considered anything above a 4 was already plus size, which is absolutely ridiculous if you ask me.
Right.
But yeah, that was my first plus size shoot.
And I even to this day, so I haven't seen you in 2 years, but that was even longer ago. So that was
even longer. It was 3-4 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, at least. So I remember back then, if I vaguely remember, that there was a bit of a decision to be made, right? You were do I try to be more the old fashioned standard size, whatever, sample size or whatever you call it, or do I go for this more natural body type that comes more naturally to me? I remember that. Like,
We literally had that conversation, and it was, I signed with my first agency in Chicago. It was because of your photos. I don't know if you remember that. Woohoo! I got my first contract with Factor back in the day. There was still Factor. And it was a decision to be made. I either had to lose 40 pounds or gain 40 pounds. Otherwise, there was not a place for me in this industry.
yeah.
And that's what it was just like, it's just, my agents couldn't really do anything at that point. They're like, we can try to sell you, but I want you to know that that is not going to happen.
Right. And some of that was like the problem with the clients themselves, right? Like the clients weren't thinking broadly like that at all. Like the clients, like, we have just this size and this size. And when we're shooting a catalog, we only have these two.
Yeah.
Give me a girl in between. We don't even know what to do with her, right?
The in-betweenies, that's what we call them in the industry. It's just, there was absolutely no place for an in-between. There was zero. For me to be a size 8, it was just like, okay, you're not going anywhere. So you either have to stop dieting or you have to diet harder. One of the other two. And I thank God I decided to just be healthy instead. Right. Maybe eat and exercise and do my own thing, and my body adjusted to that. That's why I'm a size 12, and I became a weightlifter, which is pretty cool, and I love it. And it's just kept putting on muscle, and I was like, I'm just gonna do what makes me happy. And it turns out that my body settled at a size 12, but a lot of girls get stuck with that decision. And I am really, really proud of some friends of mine who decided that, you know what, I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
The industry is gonna have to make space for me.
Right.
And even for me as a size 12, I am so sorry. Hang on.
You're good.
Even for me as a size 12, I'm still on a small spectrum of plus, and it's just, I still have clients that are like, oh, you're too small, or you're too big, or there's always going to be someone where you're going to be too much of something.
Right. And that some of that's just modeling, I guess, and but I don't know that. I think that some of it is just sort of forcing the clients to think more creatively, right? And I think that you girls have done a good job of that in the last 10 years of saying, like, let me show you how I bring value.
Yeah.
And how the photos, you get an amazing photo with any size girl, and then clients go, oh, okay, sorry. I just, and I think some of it too, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like no one was scouting above a size 0 10, 15 years ago. And so I think there was this like weird notion that like the girls, if we were to go a different direction with size and type and even like height, that it wouldn't look as good on camera. But I think it partially because there just weren't represented girls. And so now with social media, I'm talking too much. I want you to tell me your perspective, but social media and with more scouting and more representation, all of a sudden, I feel like the agencies are like, there's tons of amazing girls on the boards now that like have a variety of sizes. And so as a client, I can very easily go, hey, you've always kind of used this type of girl, but look on this agency's board and see this other girl. And I can just educate the client in real time because there's more girls represented, thank God.
There is a lot happening right now in the industry, which is so refreshing to see. I know one of the first short plus size models who's killing it right now. She's represented by Natural Models out in LA, and she just landed her first Savage Fenty campaign with a knit campaign on top, and the girl is killing it. She's 5'2".
No way.
Yes, she's stunning, gorgeous, like everything. She is everything. I'm like, yes, girl, you in that short, just go for it. Go with the height. And she's been killing it. So right now, I don't feel like things used to be very limited for models before. You used to have to be, a certain size and a certain height, and have like a symmetrical face and a very, very, I want to say, European kind of look. Even the girls of color didn't have much of a place in this industry. Right. I remember when I first started it as a straight size model that I was like very, very skinny when I was 16. I still had to just bring my own makeup to set because even makeup artists didn't know what to do with my face.
Oh yeah.
Some of them still don't, but that's another conversation. And it's just now we have that room. We have a room to be like, okay, there is some diversity happening here that's pretty awesome, and I love it. But I think there's still a lot of room to grow.
Yeah,
Some things are better, but we can get better than that.
It all falls under that same thing that I've been thinking about, and I'm glad you're reinforcing this in my own head, because I think so much of it is a learned thing. Like, and we get these preconceived notions, like it's not possible to do something well without what we're used to. So like we used, same thing I just said, right? Like you can't pull off a catalog if the girl's a size 8, whatever, which is just nonsense. And we know that now, but we had to like learn it sort of.
Yes.
But the same thing with makeup artists, I found when I was always searching as a photographer for makeup artists, that there was a little bit of fear involved. And it was because they had like told themselves stories. Like, I can't do certain types of hair. I can't contour certain types of skin. And I'd have to be like, where did you learn that? Like, who told you that? Like, who told you that styling textured hair is really that much different than styling, Caucasian hair? It's really, I mean, there are things you should know, but there's nothing fundamentally like life-changingly different about warm skin tones or darker skin tones than white skin tones. And so yeah,
if they've been in this industry from the start, they never had to learn how to deal with other skin tones, because let's all face it, that was not the idea of beauty.
Right.
Our color, our size was never the idea of beauty. So now I feel like stylists are being challenged to style different bodies, girls who are not completely hourglass shaped, girls who are not skinny, girls, and then I feel like things are actually getting to a point where you can be like, okay, this looks really good. Yeah. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We can have our size and still be beautiful, still be fierce, still pull off that editorial look. There's so many girls right now killing the game. Paloma Alcesar is one of them, and I'm such a huge fan. I worked with her a couple times, but she has been killing it, the high fashion game, and at a size 14, 16. She's been in Vogue in every freaking month, every Vogue around the world, and she kills it. Everyone is over here trying to get her to work, and they can't, because she is just a supermodel now. I mean, without talking about Ashley, obviously, but there's other girls who are just insane right now. And why? Because they finally got through their heads that there's nothing to do with size. Right. It's all about who you are as a model, as a person, how you move, and, what you bring to the table. And there's a coolness about it, and, diversity, sprinkle it all in. And it's going to make your magazine sell more. It's just going to make, customers see that and be like, oh, that actually looks like me. Yeah. I might buy that.
Well, and that was another thing I want to ask you about. So you're all over Target right now, which is like my favorite thing. I like go into Target, and I know you post it sometimes on your Instagram story, like when your friends like take their picture with you. Yeah. And I'm always like, and then I don't do it because I'm always trying to like take a selfie with Ingrid.
It is so funny because I never see myself at Target. Everyone sees me, but I never see me. Every time I go to Target, I'm like trying to see me, and then I never see it. But yeah, my friends all take those photos, and I think they're awesome. They're like, we're hanging out with Ingrid at Target.
So from what I can tell, so you've done several different campaigns for Target. You did a video campaign, and then you did the non-retouched one, which I want to ask you about. And then most recently you did just their more mainstream, like point of sale stuff, right? Or those were 3 different projects, right?
Oh yeah, those were like a lot of different projects. I did their commercial, which was so much fun out in LA, and I did their beauty campaigns. I landed 3 or 4 of those, which was fantastic. It was all over the US, and now I did this one that everyone keeps seeing and taking photos. And I mean, they're a regular client of mine, and they are definitely a brand that has been ahead of the game for a while now.
Yeah.
They've been bringing diversity and size and all of it to the table, and people love it.
And their photography, from a photographer's perspective, their photography is incredible. Like, it's simple and clean, but you just walk in there as a photographer and go like, wow, that's so nice. So, it's just,
I know, everything and the contrast is stunning. I just love their images as well. But, just like the company itself, for me, it's just a big client that I really enjoy to work with. It's just whenever I walk into the set, into every campaign that I shoot for them, it's not, okay, this is the size we're going to pin you. It's what is your size? I want you to look at your best.
Yeah.
And that is game changer in this industry. Like,
it's just so dumb. Like, why haven't they done that all along? Like, so ridiculous, right? Like, that's part of that, like, unlearning. Like, we have to teach people, like, you know, like, if your model's a size, you know, 16, bring 16s. You're bringing a size anyway. Why does it always, nah.
It's insane. It's insane. I had a photo shoot with a really big magazine overseas, and I walked in and she was just like, I only have size 4. And I go, we just both look at each other like, okay, then did you read my comp card? And she goes, yeah, and I just thought you would fit. And then we just stared at each other for a long time until I was like, honey, just slap some makeup on my face, do my hair, and I'm gonna rock this the way it is, cut it in the back, and then life goes on, you know? But I feel like it definitely was a learning curve for that stylist.
Yeah, because, well, yeah, I just have so many issues with that, but I think that's part of that old guard. Well, tell me a little bit about, like, so there may not be much to tell. It may just be like, hey, they didn't retouch my pictures, but I'm curious if there was any, like, interesting behind the scenes conversations that went on about the Target non-retouched campaign. And, like, if you had any thoughts about that as a model, like if you embraced it or if you felt nervous about it, or if, you know, what the response was. Like, I want to know all that stuff.
So when I first got booked for that, I was just kind of like nervous. I'm not gonna lie. We as models, like here in New York, especially like someone who gets booked, like my chart is always full, thank you, Jesus. But I get very little sleep. I get very, very little rest time.
It's not like they're paying you for the travel, so you have to book really tightly together, right?
Yeah, everything is so tightly together. Sometimes I have 3 flights in a week, and I am always on a plane. I am always running a little, you know, burning out. And when I heard about that, I was like, oh, okay, we can do it. You know, anything with prayer, we can do it. But then, you know, when I showed up, it's just like they are one of the best clients I ever have. They always make you feel fantastic.
Awesome.
You look amazing. Here is someone to massage your temples, and here's someone to do your nails and do your skin, and then all of it, you're going to feel amazing. And they really did. I was like, are you sure you didn't retouch that? Because I don't know if I look like that. And they're like, no, you do. This is you. But they just make you feel so fantastic from the inside out. And I honestly was very happy with the results.
Yeah, I saw it. I thought it was amazing. And I wouldn't even have noticed that it wasn't retouched. I just knew that it wasn't, like, because I was aware of the campaign. But what about, like, the response of other people? Did anybody else, like, I mean, I can imagine people were excited about that, but like,
people were very excited for sure. I got a lot of responses on my Instagram and stuff like that. So that was really cool. I just love having a sort of truthness to it. Yeah. You know, I love that my images are out there and they're raw. This is me. This is what you get. And it's pretty awesome. It's kind of empowering, really. And it's empowering people too, to see someone of my skin tone, of my size. You know, I got stretch marks. I have, you know, hyperpigmentation on my face, and all of it.
But pause, I have shot girls of every size and ethnicity, and guess what? They all do too. But I think there was a scapegoat mentality about sizes other than a 0 and about skin tones other than porcelain white, where it was like, if a makeup artist couldn't get it right, they'd be like, ugh, her skin, or like,
horrible, yeah.
But it's like, no, it's you. Like, you are the one that's not being creative enough. And now you can't get away with that because you have amazing photographers and amazing makeup artists and stylists that are going like, oh, well, yeah, of course. You know, these are all ways of being beautiful. But yeah, no, I've never met a model in my however many years of doing this. I have never met a model that is perfect. I mean, that's such a cliche, but I mean it. Like
I
the
grew
size
up.
0 girls don't necessarily look good in bikinis, and the girls that look good in bikinis may not have great hair, or like like everyone's got something, strengths and
Yeah.
weaknesses, and
That's
and
the
so
thing. And until I was maybe 15 years old, I remember thinking to myself, I can never be a model. I have stretch marks. I can never. Like, imagine a model with stretch marks. That doesn't happen.
I can't because
That
I've
was
seen
my
it 1,000
mentality when I was
times.
16 years old, until I was in my first photo shoot ever. And I looked around and the models had stretch marks, and I was like, what? How
Right,
come no one told me this?
right.
And everyone does. Everyone,
Everyone.
we're women. We have it. It's okay. It's
Yep.
okay to show it in your campaign. It's okay to put it on a billboard. You
Yeah.
know, it's us. It's it's
Right.
just a body. So it's been really cool to see some unretouched campaigns, especially
Totally.
with Ari. Ari is really good at that.
Oh, I
And
forgot about that one. You did that one, right? Did you?
no, I haven't. I
Oh,
did their
oh,
American
you
Eagle campaign instead, because they're
did.
the same company, so I can't work for both. But I just love their campaigns, and they got my business. They got my business just by seeing like my amazing friends doing that, and I'm just like, yeah, girl, rock those stretch marks, rock that little little jiggle that you got going on. Go do it, and it's beautiful. I feel like it has changed the industry for sure.
Awesome. Well, that's really cool. I mean, that's what I wanted to hear. So I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything super, like, I'm sure there's darkness in the industry too, like maybe people getting bad comments and things like that.
Oh my
But
God, yes, all the time.
yeah. Well, I mean, you can talk about that if you want. My hope is just that there's more of the positive than the negative.
Honestly, I have been working in New York for 2 years, and there is always the odd one, the odd photographer, the odd client that it just hasn't changed with the times. The
Yeah.
odd client that just really, I had, but for 2 years that I've been working here, I had probably 200 shoots here. God knows, I had one bad experience. So
Oh,
for that to
yeah.
be the ratio, I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I get treated way better than I ever get treated badly. And when I did get treated badly, it was just a photographer who just did not want to shoot plus. And I guess that's his right, but the brand wanted a plus and he didn't. So there was like a creative, little imbalance there, and he took it out on me, and I took it like a champ. I did not, walked out. I did my job, and I came home and cried. But that was it. and I tell that story now laughing at it, because it was just my first week in New York and I was so scared. But now I think about it and I'm like, wow, he must be out of job.
Yeah. I mean, even
Right about now.
surely in the last 2 years, like he hasn't been able to maintain that. There's no way. I just feel like there's got to be some consequences. And I think some people will slip through the cracks and they'll still be someone's favorite photographer that they use over and over again. And there'll still be whole groups of people, bad clients, bad photographers that all work together. But if you have a couple of really good people in there, they're just going to stop. They're just going to go, like, you have one great art director who's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to use that photographer because that photographer is.
And that's exactly what happened with that client. I kept working for the client. It's one of my biggest clients now. And he didn't. It's just as simple as that. And that's one of the things that you can see where the industry is going with it. And I usually use Victoria's Secrets as a point from it, because I feel like so many brands right now have a lot to learn about what happened with Victoria's Secrets and about what happened to the whole messy situation that they had over the press. And they're starting to get with the program that plus size, diversity, all those things that come with it, we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. People of my size, we're no longer hiding in the back rack of a store somewhere with ugly clothes. That doesn't happen anymore. We're not here for it.
Right.
So with Victoria's Secrets, it was the same thing that happened. They spent so long trying to fight the diversity. This is not what's beautiful. Telling us that because we're having this size, we're at this ethnicity, or we have stretch marks, we are not, a size 0, that we're not worthy of being desirable, that being beautiful or being sexy. Right. And then Rihanna came in and was like, I don't think so. Right. That's not gonna happen like this. and completely changed the game. She came in and took all of the sales and took everything for a reason. In her first campaign, she had Stella Duvall, who's a stunning plus girl. She had Paloma. She had the Bria Majors. She had all of these gorgeous girls who are from a size 0 to a size 18, 20 into her first campaign. And then everybody was like, wait a minute, this is not how this is supposed to go, huh?
It was amazing, and it looked amazing, and the girls were incredible, and they weren't just, the girls didn't even just look like models, you know, with a capital M. They also just look like the kind of girls that you like think are cool, you know, like that you knew along the way, and like that girl went to art school and like lives in Paris, and like she's the cool girl in your mind, and maybe she doesn't have a size 2 body, but that never affected how cool you thought she was, right? And so all of a sudden we're like connecting the dots, going, oh, like,
oh, exactly. Oh,
that's his thing.
Is this how I'm supposed to be? Okay, so I have a funny story for you. I was invited back in September 2019, last year. I was invited for their second Savage Fenty show, the New York Fashion Week one. And I was in the front row. I was so excited. I'm like, I want to see what the hype is about. Like, I already love Rihanna, and I already love her brand and everything that stands for. And I left in tears. I was literally sobbing after the show. And people were like, are you okay? And I'm like, yes, I am okay. I just feel seen. I feel like she looked at me. Every single girl that walked that runway, some were my friends, and I was screaming very hard about that. I was like, I know her. I love them. But mostly because first, they had every single size under the scope. They had every single skin tone under the scope. There was stretch marks. There was like, you know, jiggles everywhere. You know, we had Gigi Hadid and we had Bella Hadid, who were stunning, But we also had the Bria Majors. We also had Paloma. We also had Chloe Rivero, who are, you know, plus. Sorry. I don't know how to turn that off.
You just be like, shh, I'm making a point.
I'm making a point here. And they had all of this, and it was celebrated in such a way that it was like, this is sexy. This is what sexy is, being you. It's just that. You know, we had girls who had back acne, who had all of the types of flaws that people say that. And you watch a Victoria's Secret's fashion show and you feel bad about it in the end of it. And this was completely different.
Yeah. And you know, the thing with Victoria's Secret that I always had issues with, and I used to make a post like every year about and we both know people, and I don't know them, like, they're not like my best friend I call on the weekend, but we both know people who are in that universe that do that Victoria's Secret model kind of thing. But what I've always felt like is it was a male fantasy. That's not a you know, provocative statement. It was the male gaze, right?
The male gaze, yeah.
We were teaching women to see themselves only through the eyes of men, and even a lot of men don't feel that way. And I feel like Victoria's Secret took it so far, this male gaze idea, so extreme that even some men were like, I don't even know if I feel that way anymore. And it became so confusing. Like, there were so many people talking to themselves and not looking outward that they got so confused about what beautiful is, that even men, even women, everyone said, no, this isn't what beautiful is anymore. And the male gaze just kind of collapsed on itself. And it was beautiful to me.
Exactly what happened. It was beautiful.
You had girls having watch parties for this fashion show, and every year I was like, oh, girls, like, stop
watching it. You're just going to feel horrible about yourself by the end of it. And, you know, it became like a joke. You watch it with the tub of ice cream, and then you cry about it after. And I'm like, we as women are no longer in the business of feeling terrible about ourselves.
Right.
If you're trying to be profitable with that, you are going to go under, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah. And now they're trying to change. They're trying, which is amazing. They had my really good friend Solange in their campaigns, and she is so stunning. She's so beautiful, and I am like so proud of her. But no one talks about it anymore because no one cares. It's in the end of it, we're like, okay, we're tired of you telling me that I am not enough, that I'm not beautiful. We're going to take our business over here somewhere else to adore me, to Aerie, to, these brands who've been telling me that I'm beautiful from the start. So we're good. And it's no longer making headlines.
Yeah.
Crazy, because she is a size, it's just my size, and she's doing it, and it's awesome, but no one is like talking about it. I was just telling her the other day, like, I don't understand it, but it's just people got tired. Hi. Oh, he's so cute.
I'm gonna talk to my friend.
Goodness.
Well, I'm taking away his YouTube, so now he's gonna be mad at me. But maybe, hey, maybe Ingrid, I'll use this to not take your whole afternoon, and I'll let you go. But can you, before I let you go, maybe you can tell me, you want to smile at my friend Ingrid and say hi?
Hi. No, I think that's a no.
Well, we're all going to raise strong boys too, who also learn about consent and about body love and all of
that's the best. That's the best way to raise them, girl. You know it, right?
Oh yeah, I'm going to drop him on the ground because he's going to fall. But so tell me, before I let you go, tell me what your most, I'm going to put you on the spot.
That's okay.
Your most empowering experience on set ever was? Like, so either a time where you felt the most beautiful, or a time where the client was just like blew your mind. I mean, I know you'd already talked about Target, but is there anything else?
Yes, I just shot a global campaign for MAC. It's still happening now. I am so excited about it. It has been a journey. It has been one incredible journey. I have been obsessed with MAC since I was 14 years old. It was my first lipstick. And I just being on that set and being brought in, not because of how I look like it, but because of me. They had videos and they had the whole campaign surrounded about who I am as a person. Really? And what I bring to the table. And I talked a lot about weightlifting, which I love to do it in the gym. And I talked a lot about my skin. And they didn't want me to talk about my flaws. They wanted me to talk about the things that sometimes I just don't want. And that's okay too. My skin is beautiful by itself. I don't need MAC. I don't need that makeup. But I want it sometimes, and that's okay. That's great. That was definitely one of the most empowering moments of my career. And also when I walked for 11 on Array.
I love that.
Yes.
That was so cool. That was so editorial and just like creative. I loved it.
And it was just the fact that it was the first show of New York Fashion Week. It was the show that opened for all of the shows of New York Fashion Week. And it was a cast made of all plus girls. We had Candace Rufine in there, who's a legend. Tara Lee, who was a legend. And, all of these amazing models who have been killing in this industry and changing the game from the start. And I just look around and I was like, I cannot believe I'm here. I cannot believe I'm going to step in this runway right now.
You deserve it. But yeah, I know what you mean. But you deserve it.
Watching, I was very nervous. I was terrified because all of my idols were in that room. And I just, hear, someone from Vogue is in the front row. And I was just like, okay, take a deep breath. You're going to do this. It's going to be great. And the moment that we walked that runway, when we went for the final run, it was a feeling in the room that I absolutely can't describe it. It was absolutely beautiful. Everyone just saw what happened at that moment. It was such a historic moment for all plus girls to open New York Fashion Week.
Yeah.
That was just mind blowing.
You wish that you could have shown that to your 16-year-old self, 15-year-old self?
I wish I could be like, hey, listen, eat the cake. Eat your birthday cake. You're going to be just okay. You're going to kill it. You're going to change this goddamn world. That's okay. It's going to be pretty awesome. So yeah, those are my two favorite moments so far, because I'm not done. I'm just getting started.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for letting me call you and chatting, partially just because I wanted to catch up and I was thinking about you the other day, but also because I knew you had stuff that, I don't get to talk about living in the Midwest and the Southeast. Like, I feel like we just are so commercial and there's so many small things going on that I like to hear what's happening in the forefront. And I feel like, you in New York City and this space that you're in is really on the progressive end.
Incredible. It's been an incredible journey. Not easy, but an incredible journey. I'm very, very, very proud of where I am right now. And it's like it's mind-blowing to know that, hey, this is my life. I get to do those things. It's pretty awesome. I'm very happy.
Well, I'm proud of you too.
Call me whenever. Do you know you have my info? Just call me whenever, we can chat. If you have any other questions, okay?
All right. Love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.